Welcome to Coach Fireside Chat, the podcast where we strip away the glamour and get straight to the heart of coaching. No scripts, no filters, just honest, raw conversations with coaches who are out there making a real impact. I'm Karl Sandland, your host and growth strategist for coaches. I work with coaches to help them build, scale, and create lasting impact in the industry. And in this podcast, I sit down with experienced coaches to deep dive into their journey, their struggles, their breakthroughs, and their unfiltered take on what it really means to be a coach. Whether you're an aspiring coach looking to grow your practice, or you're searching for the right coach to support your personal or professional transformation, this podcast is for you. Real talk about the coaching world from those who are doing the work and changing lives. So grab a seat by the fire and let's get into it. Welcome back to Coach Fireside Chat, the raw, real talk podcast where we cut through the noise and get under the skin of what actually works in business. I'm your host, Karl Sandland, AI and automation strategist, funnel fixer, and the guy who cares less about hype and more about what actually works in the real world. Today's guest is Kelly Robson, and she's someone who I've been itching to get on the show for a while. She's the ADHD AI architect, a no bullshit business coach who builds finishable, burnout-proof systems for neurodivergent creators who are done ghosting their own brilliance. After years of watching ADHDers spiral through shame, shutdowns, and shiny strategies that never actually worked for their brains, Kelly threw out the productivity rulebook and started designing business models that put the nervous system safety first. Now she teaches solopreneurs how to co-build with AI, sell offers that actually deliver, and stop mistaking inconsistency for failure. In this episode, we're digging into how shiny ass, high dopamine hooks neurodivergent brains, but leaves them unsupported, why most online offers collapse the moment the real executive dysfunction kicks in, and how to build programs and systems that actually work for neurodivergent follow-through without dumbing anything down. And finally, why designing for neurodivergent brains isn't just inclusion, it's a responsibility. Let's get into it. Welcome, Kelly.
Good morning, Karl. How are we doing?
I'm really good. How are you doing?
I'm all right, actually. For what are we on?
It's Monday. No. How many hours have you been awake already? How many coffees have you had?
Don't.
Right, just before we get started, it is fair to warn everybody, just in case you didn't notice the badge on the artwork of this episode, it does contain explicit language. So if you are under 18, pregnant, have a heart condition, or anything like that's going to cause you some distress in some way, then please switch off now. And if you're still here, well, let's get started. Let's jump straight into it. So, ADHD AI architect, how did you get to what you're doing now? From like traditional business related building, which a lot of people, a lot of coaches, mentors out there do, to coming up with your Unfucked program?
The Unfucked Framework is a fairly recent thing. It's the last 6 months. So going back slightly, I decided to go into coaching around 2022 and bought a very expensive program at the time. But I was sold on almost a bit of FOMO. I was sold on the fact that they played to me. Like, oh, you sound so amazing. You'd be perfect for this. Our top bundle. And I'm like, slap that validation on me. Give me a little bit of dopamine. We love it. And I fucking bought it. Literally, I'm like, here's my 10 grand. There you go. Yes, sign me up for life. And then when I started the coaching qualifications, I saw how much work there was to do. And my brain, my body went, fuck this. I don't finish things. And at that point, I'm like, I don't finish anything. Don't get me wrong. The coaching program looked brilliant. Lots of knowledge. But for me, I think my brain just went, nah, I'm out. I'm not doing it. And funnily enough, it was around that time, I think it was around November 2022, that ChatGPT came online. And I was hooked. Like, as soon as I saw it, and as soon as I started playing with it, no word of a lie, I didn't actually sleep for about a month. So I'm like, fucking hell, all this stuff it can do. The more I got into AI, the more I realized, actually, I can finish stuff now. Like, I figured out a way to actually finish the stuff that I want to finish. I think that's another key thing, really. Like, certainly from an ADHD point of view, we're going to finish it if we actually want to finish it. Like, our ADHD, neurodivergence is not, I'm going to fucking say this actually. I hate people that call ADHD or neurodivergence a disability. I hate people even more when they call it a fucking superpower. It is not a superpower. What I've come to realise, though, is it's a business asset, and it can be a very good business asset if you understand how to use it and manage it properly. That's not to say that I have figured out 100% what this looks like, but I can certainly build businesses and finish it and do a whole level of stuff that I never thought possible. Anywho, so I got to last year, and I thought, you know what, I want to go back to my coaching, because now I understand how to finish stuff and the tools I've got to finish stuff. Now I want to go back and finish it. So what did I do? Go and enroll in another course, because we love courses, don't we? Like, we love good course. We love all the knowledge. We just don't do shit with it generally. Got another business course, and the course was a 6 months business course, right? And because I understood how to use AI, I finished it in 4 weeks to completion. It was so good. Everybody's still struggling on the niche, and I'm there like building sales pages because I understood how to use AI. So around January this year, once I built the business out and launched the business, it was ADHD coaching and business building. So I was the one like flogging the $5,000 packages. I'll build your business. I'll do this. And I did. And people bought them. I'll be honest, like, even when I was doing that, I'm like, I could just show you how to build it and it'd be cheaper. And it's like tools for life then. But I didn't, because I was told, get the high ticket. It's all about high ticket. And my body was just like, no, it's not sitting right. And then, so I thought, right, I'll not do the ADHD coaching because people drain the life out of me. I don't even like coaching, I'm not going to lie. Like, one-to-one coaching and high ticket, I just don't like it, because I am not I'll hold your tears and snot kind of person. I'm just like, let's just fucking do it. Let's just get it done using tools. So that didn't sit right. So I'm like, what am I going to do now? And I had to really take a step back and work out, what did I want from my business? Not what I was being told to do, not go get the high ticket. And I started thinking, I think I want a membership. And this were in like January, and my coach at the time were like, don't do it. Like, the amount of time and energy it will take to fill a membership, you could get all these people on a high ticket. And I went with it. And what I actually found was the stress and the emotional strain of doing something that I didn't want to do, that wasn't congruent with the way that I wanted to work, because I was told that this is almost like industry standard. It just caused so much stress. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? Anyway, so fairly recently, I'm like, do you know what? I'm either going to build something that I want to build. If it falls on its arse, cool. At least because I've got AI, I'll build another fucking business, like something completely different.
In 3 hours.
Yeah, in 3 hours. My quickest business build. So this business, like the ADHD AI architect, I am not going to lie, right? I've even got proof on my socials if anyone wants to go check it out, if you're sad enough. But on my socials, I built my business in 8 hours. So when people are pissing about taking 6 months to build a business, I can build it in 8 hours. Don't ask me to do it because I don't do high ticket. But I'm just showing, but the thing is, like, the stuff that I do, I'm not special. I've probably got the same levels of experience, certainly from a coaching point of view, but because I know how to use the tools and I know how to use the frameworks, and I can put it all together, I can solve problems. And that's what us ADHD is, neurodivergent can do. We are problem solvers. So imagine having all this knowledge from all these courses, then having a productivity tool that can literally sort out your shit, and then you can just build. And it takes the emotion out of it, basically. So the ADHD AI Architect is a fairly recent thing, but I'll tell you something, like since I've started it, I am so comfortable. I have no problems in messaging people saying, listen, this is what I've got, go and have a look, as opposed to selling 997 courses, which I have got, but I've actually pulled. People have asked to do it, but I thought, no, because I've now put that into my membership. I'd rather you come and stay with me because I'm going to literally keep putting everything that I have into what I'm building now. So that's where I'm at.
It's an interesting journey because you're absolutely right. There are certain big coaching organizations out there that are telling new coaches in the industry to go high ticket's easier because it funds you for the first few months. What they don't tell you is trying to get high ticket is ridiculous, and you're never going to have your messaging sorted and honed in and correct enough to attract high ticket. And especially if you're trying to attract coaches, for example, as your high ticket, none of them got any money when they first start off because they're all in the same boat. So
they're paying all these like really expensive coaching programs.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what though. Something that pisses me off though. Told you this was going to be like therapy. I'm going to get it all out. The thing that pisses me off the most is that people sell knowledge. I think a lot of these coaching schools are going to go out of business fairly quickly. And the reason why is they're selling knowledge right now. What they're selling is actually things that people can now get off ChatGPT for 20 quid a month, right? Mm-hmm. But I think it's the implementation for me. And that is the thing that's missing from these containers. And it's not the coaching schools, it's pretty much most coaching programs anyway. It's the actual implementation. So all that's happening at the minute is, by the way, I'm not knocking coaching. There are some very powerful modalities of which have helped me for sure. But I think the thing that is missing is the actual support, certainly from a neurodivergent point of view, the actual support in the implementation of what have you learned, maybe about yourself or whatever. In terms of the programs themselves, they're predominantly knowledge-based, and they're also written for people who are generally neurotypical. So if you actually look at any of these coaching modalities, they are neurotypical, basically quite linear, right? They assume that people are not going to burn out. They assume that you can be constant and productive. They assume that you're not going to lose your fucking mind when you see X, Y, Z. They assume that you're not going to burn out. I might have said that, but that's also an important one, so I'll say it twice. It's just an assumption of very neurotypical ways of working, and there's actually no support. I actually approached a coaching school, right? They dropped an offer, and I'll be honest, this offer was pretty shiny, dopamine-y. I were actually watching the live when they dropped it, and I'm like, I need to buy it again. I've already got it. But it was that
it was that good. You were going to double buy it.
I'm like, I'll get it again.
They're clearly just good at selling. You know that, right?
The marketing is, and this is it though, it's the marketing. It's the marketing on FOMO. I am your classic, I will buy anything. If that marketing is good enough, if it literally triggers some kind of urgency or challenge or typical ways that our brain responds to dopamine, right? Challenges, urgencies, novelty, whatever. So I were sat watching this live and they were dropping these offers. And I'm like, oh, these are good offers. What they're banging out now, they're really good. And I stopped the live and I came off and I'm like, do you know what? I would buy it. But I also know what it's going to take now to complete all of this stuff. This is no joke. And then it took me back to when I bought the courses and I burnt out straight away. Mm-hmm. So I reached out. I've reached out to one of the CEOs and I basically said, look, the way that you are doing these things, the way that you are marketing, brilliant stuff. However, my fellow neurodivergent entrepreneurs, they're going to be fucked because they're not going to do it. So your pass rate is going to be shite. Let me help you. And the answer?
Oh, they don't like that. They don't like it when people say, let me help.
No. No,
I've tried that.
I'm like, and do you know what? I'd have done this for free. The reason I got into coaching is because I genuinely want to help. And we all do. Like when we go into coaching, the main reason is because we want to help people, right? But at some point, money becomes a thing. Like I am sick to shit of seeing like 10x your income. Make sure you get 10 grand. It's like, listen, babe, just let me like just earn my basic stuff first. But so it's the constant you have to do this. Anyway, so I message her. I'm like, I'll help. Like I can put things in place, put things in community. I'd already been banned twice from community. I'm not going to lie. That's another podcast. But it turned around is like, no thanks. And I'm like, do you know what? Cool. So I think that was like a bit of a trigger point for me because I'm like, there's a lot of places that don't give a shit now.
There's an awful lot of unethical marketing and sales going on. And you're right, it's unethical even for the, I don't like the term, but neurotypical. A lot of it is unethical, even based on that. But yeah, when you start pointing some of that scarcity and the, oh, your cart's open, it closes in 3 days, and there's this particular offer that they can't really afford, but it's like, oh, I'll stick it on a credit card. And there's, again, especially with an ND brain, you're going after that dopamine hit, aren't you? So you're getting shiny object syndrome even more than a neurotypical. So of course they're going to attract a lot more. But as you say, they're not going to get that completion rate. They're going to get sales, money, failure to deliver, and then people pissed off because they're not actually getting the outcome that they thought that course or membership or university package wrapped up as a membership was going to give them. Which is, it's not fair. It's genuinely not fair. It's unethical.
So that kind of got me thinking, how can I make this better? Like, how can I actually make this better? Not from a financial point of view, probably just more of a fuck you point of view, being perfectly honest. Like, nobody needs to be going 3 months, 6 months to build a business. Like, we want a business now. That's the whole point. A lot of people are like financially screwed for various reasons and they just want a business now, right? So I'm like, what can I do? So I thought, you know what? I'll build a 14-day build your own business course. But the difference is that the course isn't around knowledge. This is around follow this framework, use AI to build everything out. And basically, you'll get a business at 14 days. Anyway, so I launched it. I had about 15 people do it because they were like NDers. They wanted double the time because it went fast. Like everything was like quite fast paced. Some people dipped out because you're always going to get that. But I've now got at least 10 people who has launched their own business within 30 days. So my coach at the time was like, oh, put it out for £1,000. And I'm like, I can't do it. It doesn't sit right. And I actually ended up, I'm going to go as far as to say, I actually felt ill because I'm trying to plug this £1,000 course. Who has got this? Without me turning around like other people do, going, if you really want it as much as you say you do, go get in debt for it, go put it on a credit card, go do this. That doesn't sit right with me at all. So I started like going out, like doing the typical things, a little bit of FOMO, a little bit of scarcity on my own profile. And every time I'm putting these posts out, I'm like, I hate myself. I literally hate myself. So at least for a week, I'm like, fucking hate myself. Who am I? What am I doing? I cannot, it just doesn't feel right. And then I thought, fucking hell, have I got some money blocks? Is it me that needs to do the work? Because I know my stuff's worth it. It's not like I'm sat there thinking that my stuff's not worth it, because it is. I know what that looks like. I know what it can do, right? So then I'm thinking, well, I must have got money blocks then. Oh, it must be my childhood. Oh, because my mum says, like, people with money are dicks and like, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to have to do some proper work. I gave myself a bit of a slap, I'm not going to lie. I'm like, I can't do this. I don't want to do it. I don't even care if I have to go back to my corporate job. I can't do it because every fibre in my body is saying, do not do this. There are better ways that will serve people better in better containers that actually has support. And this is how the membership was born, because I kind of looked at all the shit in the industry, like, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that. And then I flipped it. So everything that I've now built is literally the opposite to what I was told to do. So you could say, like, everything I've learned in the last year, all the thousands that I've spent, was absolute dog shit, and it was a waste of time. But it wasn't, because it just showed me all the things that I don't want to do, that my business will not look like, and that it doesn't need to look like. And I have proved the fact that going against the grain, actually, I am looking forward to starting my job. Every day, my job. I don't want to be away from my business. I am not one of these who's like, oh, financial freedom, so I don't have to do my business. No, fuck that. If you want to do this business, you need to live, breathe, eat, sleep, shit this business, and you need to get really comfortable with how painful it is. You essentially need to get really comfortable with the pain, and you've got to love it, and you've got to just be obsessed with it. And building the business now in the way that I have, I'm there, and I've never been there before.
I guess the key thing is, first of all, you've not wasted your time and money.
I
It's
know.
just not got the outcome it promised, but all of the outcomes it has taken you towards is massive. And yet, to be honest, I think when certain people say, oh yeah, maybe you've just got bad association with money, or you've got a bit of a money problem, you need to work on that, it's probably a fucking coach that's telling you that, who's going to charge you. Whereas actually, no, you're just staying true to your core values, which is to probably not rip people off, which, to be honest, it's like, yeah, okay. See, the other thing I like disrupting, to be fair, I actually take a little bit of pride in that competition, because I think it's fun, and you've got to build some fun into your business, because as you said, it is fucking hard work. These people who say it's, and this, again, this isn't even playing down what you're saying, you have something that helps people build very quickly, but building very quickly and then maintaining afterwards, again, that still requires a lot of effort. That still requires your heart and soul going into it. And even the building, although it can be done in a short space of time, it still requires your all during that short space of time. And there's so many people out there that just half-arse setting a business up. And it's just like, just stay in your fucking job. Don't bother, because you're just wasting everyone's time.
So this is it, right? The stuff that's out there on the market at the minute is build your business, build scale, build, grow, scale, right? The way that I've set my membership up is that at each point of a build, so let's say you do, like, well, just going on social media, like being visible on social media, I've built in an RSD part to that. So while they're learning how to be on social media, they're also going through a process of really understanding what their rejection sensitivity dysphoria looks like from an ADHD point of view. I've also then built the equivalent from an autistic point of view and the equivalent from an ADHD point of view. So imagine a membership where every time you build something, you have a pathway for whatever challenge you have to support that particular section. It's almost like it's the coaching element, but using AI to do it. The key thing, certainly from a neurodivergent point of view, I think, is that it's the understanding, the awareness, the acceptance, and the forgiveness for what you have. And being able to understand what your challenges look like, additional stuff on top of your neurodivergent challenge, right? So the way that I've built is to get people to start looking at their own infrastructure, the way their energy works, the way that their triggers are, like what they do in certain circumstances, how to build their own personalized maps back. Let's say they've ghosted the business, right, for, I don't know, 3 weeks. I've done it. I now need to apologize. From an us point of view, we feel like we need to almost apologize for being the way that we are, because that's what we've always done. We've always apologized for the burnout, sort of like the mind fog. So within the way that I build now is almost like building in a mirror for people to use to understand themselves whilst they're building. So that membership will just grow. Like that, so far, like what's in there right now is launch a business. And there's a community. to support you while you're doing it. And I'm in there, there's bits of hot seat coaching, personalized enough to take you through a neurodivergent pathway to support whatever it is that you have, and then also support you on top of that. So when you feel like you're losing your mind and you're on your own, because this is the loneliest thing to do ever. And I don't know if I'd have done it, if somebody had told me what this whole thing looked like before I did it, I'm not sure whether or not I'd have done it. Now that I'm doing it, I'm grateful and I'm happy and I'm obsessed with it. But I have dips. I don't want to touch my business. Like, I could be on 10%, right? A couple of days ago, perfect example, I was literally on my arse for a whole heap of reasons. And yet I still built 3 sales pages and 3 offers for a client using AI. And that's my 10%.
Yeah, it's really good as a guide, as an assistant, almost like a free virtual assistant, right? It's good that it enables people who have used nearly all their spoons, all their energy, to actually still be productive. And I guess that's the key thing, because people, when they're building a business, beat themselves up so much about, oh, well, I aimed to get here today and I haven't done that and I haven't done this and I've got this. Look, I'm telling you now, when you're building a business, you will never complete your to-do list. It's about learning that you're never going to get everything done that you want. However, there are ways of being a lot more productive, and using AI as a tool to help you become more productive is absolutely a lot better than hiring VAs, offloading your design work out to somebody, or offloading build out to somebody else. There are ways you can do it. There are ways you can become a master of something without being a master of something. And that's something I have in my membership, using AI to actually critique a page or a funnel that you've built. You give it the right instruction and it's going to do a really good job of telling you what's good, what's shit. And then you go and fix it. You don't need to be a first-class designer. What I love about what you've said in your membership is it's not just the tools, it's the support. And that's the key thing, isn't it? And that's one of the great things that you get within a membership that you don't get in just a standard course, that you don't get when you subscribe to one of these ridiculously priced courses with one of these big coaching training companies. That's the thing that a lot of people miss. It's that one-to-one. It's being able to chat with people or be in a community where other people have had the same issues and they've asked a question and you've seen the answer to it without even needing to ask it yourself. That sort of stuff really does make a difference, doesn't it, with learning, with building?
Yeah, it does. But do you know what? I'm going to be completely transparent. I built this for me. The stuff that I build is always obviously with my clients in mind, but I didn't do it like that this time. I literally built my business like, how does it fit with me? How does it fit my life? How does it fit my ADHD? How does it fit all the things that I have challenges with? So I built it for me. And I think that is 100% going against the grain, because people don't build the businesses for themselves. They build for their clients and they build the shiny sort of structures that they think that they should have. I don't have a funnel. I don't have a website. I don't have anything like that right now because I don't need it. But I will. As soon as the things that I want to do become more complex, there is a place for that. But when people are starting out in business, they do not need a website. They do not need a funnel. They just need to be able to have somewhere that they can sell from. But when they've been sold program selling, you need a website to launch. You need a funnel to do this. Oh, here's my affiliate link. Go sign up because it's going to make me even more money off your ass. That kind of thing. But they don't need that. All they need is a place to sell. I never even had sales pages. I literally posted on Facebook and said what it was, and people bought from that. From an ND point of view, almost thinking that you need to have all your ducks in a row before you can launch. We think that we need everything perfect. I had a conversation with somebody about this yesterday, and I'm like, but what feels right for you? They were panicking about a launch. What do you want your launch to look like? I need a website, I need this. I'm like, no, you don't. You literally need an offer which is banging for your client base, and you need to be able to talk about it, and you need a place to be able to sell it, whether that's a sales page or just a Stripe link. You don't need everything.
I would agree with pretty much everything you said there. Well, What do you need to start off? You need the passion, the idea, and the knowing that it's going to be hard work. You need to test out your messaging. You really need to be attached to what it is that you're offering, and your offer needs to be good. Otherwise, people aren't going to buy it, and there needs to be a market for it. But none of that's tech. That's all business practice. At the end of the day, and this is where a lot of people get their knickers in a twist over it. I need this and I need that. You don't. Software, and bear in mind, audience, I've worked in software for over 30 years. I've designed systems, mobile apps, award-winning mobile apps, and the premise of software has never changed. It has always been to automate and to make things quicker to do that are currently repetitive tasks, right? So you only need software really if you want it to be shining. You've got this obsession with looking bigger than you are, or you're at the stage where you've got some form of repetition that's eating into your time and you want to take that away, because that's what software's for. Email marketing, for example, that is there so that you don't have to go into Outlook and click new mail and type in the subject line and type and copy and paste the body in and then start a new mail message and then a new one and a new one. But at the end of the day, if you haven't got an email list, you don't fucking need mail marketing. Landing pages, offers. You could just have Stripe. You could send an invoice from Stripe. You don't need a landing page for that sort of stuff. Don't get me wrong, with calendar booking and stuff like that, no. Yes, it helps with that. But again, that's just automating something that becomes a little bit of a ball ache to do manually.
I have come to the point where I have just stripped back everything that you do and you do not need. And all you actually need is, like you said earlier, you need a banging idea. You need to be able to market, like understand who it is that you're marketing to. You need to solve a problem and you need to understand why you're solving it and what the outcome is going to be. And if you can do that, you can sell. Everything that I've ever sold, I have never sold with a sales page.
Just to quickly jump in, we're talking primarily B2C sales here, as in you're selling to an individual. You're a coach and you are trying to find clients that you're going to coach. If you're selling software or a service into businesses, there is slightly different rules, probably a website, a presence. But yeah, for B2C, if you're trying to pick up single clients that you're going to work with either one-to-one or in a group membership or container, yeah, you probably just need to be having lots of conversations. Social posts would be good, lots of conversations, because ultimately, in order to convert, you need to have a conversation with somebody. Now, it doesn't matter what vehicle you use, whether that's a landing page, a website, social media, an advert that you put out there, a flyer that you put out there, going to a networking event. I think what a lot of the industry has lost its way with is the fact that it's not how you initiate, it's the fact that you do initiate a conversation with somebody, and you don't always need technology for that. And stop comparing yourself with coaches or other people that are further along on the journey, because they may be at the stage they do need it, but just because they need it, it doesn't mean you need it for where you are right now. So start looking at other people. Be heart-led. Be more led to what feels right inside you rather than listening to everybody else's advice. But if you speak to any decent ethical person or people that have built their own business and got it to a stage where they're scaling, they'll be the first to tell you that you don't need stuff at the start. Are there any events that you've got coming up, any lives or anything explaining, trying to take the new influx in of the next few people into the membership?
To be honest, no, because I'm not fucking doing no challenges, no 5-day sprints, no fucking... No. However, if like what I've said genuinely has resonated, just message me. Just DM me. You will not get a chatbot either. You might get a slight delay because I might be in bed at some point, like a burnout day or whatever, but I'll always get back to people.
Listen, been brilliant to have you on. I'll make sure all of the ways to contact you are in the show notes. To everybody else, thank you for tuning in on this episode. I know it's got a little bit sweary at times, but look, at the end of the day, I think it's fair to say both Kelly and I are actually quite passionate about some of the bullshit that's out there in the industry. And the swearing, the language comes from a place of frustration and just emphasis of, oh my God, will you just listen and not listen to that crap that's out there? Because that comes from a place of having been there and listened to it and fallen short because of it, and then picking ourselves back up and building again and pivoting. So all we're trying to do here is just open your eyes to some of the experiences that we've been through to try and set you now without making some of the mistakes that we've made. So listen, I hope you've enjoyed it. We shall see you next time on Coach Fireside Chat. That's it for this episode of Coach Fireside Chat. If you found value in today's episode, please be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an insight-packed conversation. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more real talk on coaching. And don't stop there. Check out other fantastic episodes where I sit down with more incredible coaches who are out there making a real impact. Thanks for tuning in.